here's Governor McCrory crying on Fox News last night about how Big Brother is climbing all over him when he created the damn problem himself.
I'm being threatened by the federal government, transportation funds, housing funds, university funds. It's like Big Brother is all of a sudden descended upon our state in a very coordinated political way. But actually what the Attorney General, what the national media is missing, this is no longer a mandate on North Carolina. They're making bathroom rules for every employer in the United States of America with over 15 employees.
So that's the governor of North Carolina to battle with the federal government over a state's controversial bathroom law. The Justice Department and the state filing dueling lawsuits yesterday. State accusing administration of government overreach. North Carolina Lieutenant Governor Dan Forest is in the middle of all of this. He is my guest now. Sir, thank you for your time and good morning to you there in the tar.
Bill, it's great to be with you this morning.
Did you expect the government to sue you? Is that why you fired the first shot yesterday morning?
Well, absolutely. Regardless of whether they decided to sue us or not, we had to fire back because really what they're doing, Bill, is completely unconstitutional. It's against the rule of law, and this is the heavy hand of the federal government using extortion to try to bully the states into having their way.
You know what the government thinks about this. Loretta Lynch,
yeah.
Strong words directed at you and others leading this fight in North Carolina. Just listen.
State-sanctioned discrimination never looks good and never works in hindsight. It was not so very long ago that states, including North Carolina, had other signs above restrooms, water fountains, and on public accommodations, keeping people out.
She is linking this directly to the civil rights movement in the history in certain parts of the country, including your state. How do you respond?
Well, I think it's shameful that you would take the protection of women and children in bathrooms, something that human decency has ruled for decades in this country, and all of a sudden equate that to Jim Crow laws in the South. It's a shameful attempt to say that somehow North Carolina is discriminating against somebody when that's not the case at all. You know, what we had was a radical, out-of-touch ordinance in the city of Charlotte that mandated that all signs have to come off bathrooms. There can be no more male and female signs on bathrooms. That's just unconscionable. And what we did is we had to strike that down. So it was unconstitutional. It was extreme. We struck it down and really returned the status quo in North Carolina. So for her to say that somehow we're discriminating in North Carolina now means that she really doesn't understand the situation that's going on here.
Help me understand this. You and others have argued the public safety side of this. Yeah. What does that mean?
Well, that means, again, that if Loretta Lynch has her way, the Justice Department has their way, then the Charlotte ordinance will go into effect, not just for Charlotte, but for the whole nation. They will use an unconstitutional ordinance in a single city to dictate bathroom law for the entire United States of America, telling businesses all across the country that you have to take down the signs on your bathrooms, and men can walk into women's bathrooms, women's changing facilities, women's showers. You know, the real discrimination here, Bill, is against women and children. The 99% of the people out there who don't want men to walk into their restrooms. And so that's where the real discrimination should be focused.
Draw the legal argument for me. On what grounds do you win this case, do you believe?
Well, I mean, you win the grounds based on the Civil Rights Act. I mean, the interpretation they're using here is that the Civil Rights Act from back in the 60s and 70s has to do with transgender and orientation and gender identity. It has absolutely nothing to do with that whatsoever. They're going so far as using a liberal edict from the EEOC, a group of 5 people that are appointed by the Obama administration who somehow interpret the law of the Constitution and say that it does apply to that when it absolutely doesn't. So the real issue here is the rule of law, and at its basis, Bill, the rule of law applies to everybody, including the President of the United States and the Justice Department.
You know, you
see, and that's bullshit. Basically, he forgets to mention that the federal court in the 4th District has already ruled against what they're trying to do, but he fails to mention that part of it. That had to do with a student in Virginia suing for the right to use the bathroom of her gender identity, but they failed to mention that part of it. And funny, they also failed to mention the part about them restricting the increase of the minimum wage by cities if they choose to do so. So he's trying to pick and choose, but he's going to lose. The governor's going to lose. And I'm just doing this video to give you the Fox News side of things.
You could lose a lot of money. A lot of companies are lining up against you. We will see how that fight goes, and we will see how this legal argument develops. Sir,
yeah, and they also failed to mention that the people are against this particular law, the people of their state and basically the country, and the business community is against this law. So they're right, everybody else is wrong, and this is just a case of them doing the exact opposite of what they claim to do, which is stay out of people's lives and just let people be people and do what they need to do. People going into bathrooms are going into bathrooms 99.9% of the time to take care of biological functions and then get the hell out of there. But these guys claim that if this law is not in effect, you're going to have like a zillion predators running in there taking advantage of their women and young girls. I guess young boys too. I can't see how a transgender person is going to take advantage of men and young boys. But stranger things have happened. But again, this is Fox News, and they basically only gave this thing less than 5 minutes worth of coverage, because even they got to believe that they're on the wrong side of this.